Hi, I'm Thecia Ellis, and welcome to Grandma's Homestead. And it's noisy, and it might be noisy if you're here for a few minutes. I'm trying to get between gusts of wind. The wind's not bad, but there are some gusts occasionally. But what I'm here to do, I don't know what that noise was. I'm here to assess how I did in 2022. So that's going to entail me going around to different places on the farm, and there might be some noise. So let me see, I'm on my notes here. I was talking about some of the things I was wanting to do for 2022. So we're going to start talking about chickens. Last year I had talked about wanting to expand with a heavier breed of egg layers, just in case I can't get some Cornish crosses. But until then, I'm going to continue to raise Cornish crosses, and I'll show you what I have done and the philosophy that I have adapted, and some others that I will keep. I don't know why she's out. I've got electricity going to this thing. Okay, so I do have some larger birds here. I like the barred rock. And then I got these, like this pretty black one here. I can't remember what they are. I got several of them. Those I got from a hatchery this last fall. And they're beautiful, and they're supposed to be a bigger breed bird too. And supposed to lay some pretty eggs and also be a heavier bird just in case I need to eat some sometime. And I've got 2 or 3 roosters that are definitely going to have to. I think I've got, 1, 2, 3, 4. I know I've got a couple roosters that need to become soup, because I don't do aggressive roosters, and I got too many in here. Well, there's another one I see now too. One way or another, I didn't do too badly with my bringing all these barred rocks and the barred rock mixes. Well, not all of them, but my pullets, the smaller ones here, these are only a few months old, and so those are supposed to be an expansion of my layer breed, and so are these black ones. And golly, they're just getting pretty, aren't they? So that is supposed to be kind of what I had started out with. I needed egg layers. I wanted some larger breeds. Larger breeds generally lay bigger eggs, and customers like bigger eggs. And so I've got that, and then also that I've got the American breasts, and I'll show those to you. They can tell when I'm here. I've got a system. It's kind of a mess. I'm going to have to mess with them. I got my straw here, and they heard me coming because they think I'm going to feed them. But these are the American breast chicks, and they're out here in the brooder shed, and they're growing nicely and doing well. And these are the ones that I'm going to be having for in-house, not only for eggs, but certainly for meat. And I don't know if you can tell. Can you see the blue legs? They're kind of an interesting bird. So that is my backup. That's my what I had changed. Before I tell you what I changed on that, I'll just tell you that I bought some things to keep them off the top of the wall there so that it can't get out, but I haven't gotten them installed yet. So my plan for 2022 was to get the bigger chicks, or the bigger chickens that I can have for both layer and for meat, and I believe I've got a pretty good setup over there. But I also now have the American breast, which is an offshoot of the French breast, and these are supposed to get up to a good size, and I can't give you pounds right now, but pretty good size, and that they'll lay eggs, but they also are supposed to be a good meat bird. And this is something that I can have a closed system. If all else fails, I can grow my own food, and that's what I'm planning on doing there. Okay, and also back to my Pekin ducks. I hatched some eggs last year, and I sold some ducklings because everybody knows that Pekin ducks are really cute. Now, but I've got this one little black one here, and I can't get rid of her. I don't know where, I guess a male drake got into the mix, a wild one here a couple of years ago, and she's my last one that I believe that's mixed like that. And she's just pretty, and I'm pretty sure if I look back, she's the one, when I go back to some of my old videos, that when she first hatched, she was looking at me like, are you my mom? So I can't get rid of her, but it does make, if I want to do a straight breed Pekin ducks for hatching, then I end up with an extra one occasionally. So like when they hatch, you could tell that came from her. I hatched some eggs last year, and I had a customer that was pretty consistently buying them from me. The customer was kind of a hassle. I had trouble understanding them. Well, it was a different I don't know what their nationality is or anything, but it was just difficult to communicate with them. It was difficult to understand what their wants and needs were and stuff. And so I was about to not say, I'm saying, no, I'm not going to do ducklings again this year. But I got a pretty good price for them, and they contacted me yesterday and asked me if I was going to be hatching any ducklings this year. So I thought, okay, I'm considering it. So that's that. So I did okay last year. Now I did not get. I think out of all that I tried to do for getting duck egg customers, golly, for getting customers for duck eggs, I think I got one customer. So I'm not going to be expanding my flock for that. I will save the eggs and I will sell hatch some ducks, but to sell. But I'm not going to at this time. I'm not doing a very good job of creating duck eggs customers. I do have a list for chicken egg customers, and honestly, Tom won't be happy with me on it, but I probably need to expand my chicken flock. We'll have to see though. And of course, these guys are noisy too. I've got the one blue slate turkey hen here. And like I said the other day, she's probably going to have to go. She's beautiful, but she's just not happy there. And then I've got the 3 black slate hens and the 1 turkey, or, male. Over the summer, I did have some broad-breasted birds. I kind of like doing the broad-breasted birds, I won't lie. They have real good meat production, and you keep them for 20 weeks and then they're gone. Where I'm keeping these like all winter long, and so it's not quite as convenient, but it is another closed system. So that was pretty good. I'm learning from that too, but I have to admit, I'm probably going to be going back to my broad-breasted. I will keep some of these. I guess I can cover that on my next video, but I'll probably be keeping some of these to have a closed system, and I will discuss that later. But yeah, I've considered that. I think I did okay with turkeys this year. I've got a whole mess of ground. I've got turkey legs to smoke, and then I've got a whole mess still of turkey frames because I drink a lot of broth, and I make turkey broth out of the frames that are left over, and it's been nice. So I would say that was definitely a success this year. It is gorgeous out here today. It's middle of January, and it's 63 degrees and just gorgeous. And the sun went behind a cloud a little bit just now, but the pigs have been sunning and enjoy themselves. I'm telling you this as I'm going over there because it's about to get noisy with pigs now because everybody thinks it's time to eat, and it is not. Okay, this is Oscar, this is Daisy, and this is Waddles. And yep, like I said, they think it's dinner time. I lost Jimmy Dean over the summer in the heat of the summer. So yeah, as you remember, at the very beginning of this year, of 2022, let me leave and I've shown them to you, so now I'm going to go somewhere where I can talk. You can still hear them, but I'm at least some further away from them. You think I never feed my animals, but they get fed, I promise. Okay, so the pigs have been kind of a mixed bag this year. I got the Idaho pasture pigs, got the breeding trio, was really pleased, and they are so cute when they're piglets. And my plan was to put them back together in time to have piglets by November. Well, as you can tell, that it didn't work. I did when they got old enough to put back together. It was in the heat of summer, and then I lost Jimmy Dean probably about a month after I had put them back together, something like that. I always keep the stuff written down, but I don't remember it. And so I waited a little bit because I had a lot going on at the time. I don't know why I'm winded, but got Oscar. Had to keep them separated for a while because we've had a few things with him. Wanting to win. Well, it was just a fiasco at first, and so they're together and they seem to be doing pretty good together. I'm not sure though. I don't know if he's having joint issues or what the deal is. Every once in a while you find him limping, and then the next day he's not, so I don't know what the deal is. I'm not even when Jimmy Dean was in the pen with him, he was interested, but the girls have never been interested as far as I can tell. And I don't watch them 24/7, but I do try to keep an eye on him. And even now with Oscar, I'm not even seeing where he's at in showing any interest in them right now either. It's like, I think he's kind of resigned to the fact that the girls just don't want it, and I don't understand that. I don't understand why. I guess I'm going to have to do some studies and find out how to tell specifically if a female pig is in heat, so I can kind of keep a closer eye during that time. I think I read or heard somewhere that it's every 20 days, and I have never seen any evidence of it. I've never seen any evidence of any of the boars actually succeeding in breeding them. So, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of a thing here. So I don't know what to do. Standing here talking to you, and I didn't even know Mopar was there. He can sleep in the darndest places and never even move, and I never know he's there. On a whole other note, equipment. I did make some good progress on that. Took this mower to the shop. Took them forever. Cost like $700. But I've got a working riding mower now, and I'm very grateful because always doing a push mower was a real pain in the butt. In Tom's defense on that one, he blew up the other mower. He didn't do any maintenance on it at all, and he blew up the other motor. And then so he ordered a new mower, and they said it was the right one. Apparently was not. And that's part of the reason it took so long for the shop to get it fixed, was because it was just not the right mower, and they had to work and work and work to make it work. And so they're even then, because they're not a complete matchup, there's some issues that we run into occasionally with it, but at least I can mow with something besides a push mower now. The tractor is back in business mostly. Right now we've got the I don't know what you call it, grader or something like that, so we can smooth out the driveway, which we desperately needed to do. I bought a new battery for it. I hired a kid to come out and start working on some sort of ignition switch and stuff like that. As you can tell, there's still a lot more that needs to be done, because look, this is the gear shifter, I believe. And because there were some structural issues, there were some cracks or something with the front loader. I would desperately, really love to have a front loader, but it's sitting out in the field somewhere and needs to be welded. And I think something on these need to be welded too. I'm not sure. So I do not have a front loader, which I'd really like. It would make my life a lot easier for that too. But at least now I can. I still haven't even taught myself how to drive the tractor yet, but at least we can keep the driveway in pretty good condition, and we can start brush hogging all this mess out here. So that was a big thing for me, and then we'll see what we can do after that. So that was a plus. Got some of my equipment running, and I'm very grateful for that. Back over here by the noisy turkeys, but it's time to start talking about the garden. My sad, terribly sad garden area. Isn't that pitiful? I did get the grow lights like I was talking about getting, and that helped with starting seedlings and stuff. That was a very big help. Our biggest issue with gardening this last year, we didn't stay on top of the watering, but it was difficult to stay on top of the watering. Our springs are usually wet. Like, we might get 6 inches in a week on occasion, and so it gets real wet, and then like the very next week when it's done, and it gets real hot. So like it can be wet and kind of mild, and then all of a sudden it gets up to 90 degrees and no rain, and I struggle, Well, during that time, we had a lot of water breaks in the water district, and there were several days that we went without water or very low pressure or something like that. So I'll be perfectly honest, we did more to try to keep my animals up and going than we did to keep the garden. But I think, as usual, we're going to try again. We don't eat a lot of vegetables, but we do tomatoes. I can make my own tomato sauce and canned diced tomatoes and stuff. That's what we generally do use. I'd like to start focusing on stuff that my birds and pigs will eat. Pumpkins, just different things like that I can just toss it to them and they can be happy about it, and different squashes and stuff. So I'm going to try again. we'll see what we can do and keep on at it. But yeah, the garden, it completely burned up this year. It was just, I don't think we got anything off of it. My orchard was a complete and utter fail this year. This was a peach tree, and I've got more trees down here. Even with my pears, I was hoping we'd get pears, but guess what? I didn't even go down here and look. So like off in the distance there, that's where the chickens are and all the junk. I don't know. I would consider this a zone 5 for those of you who follow things with permaculture stuff. So I never even come down here to check on the pears. Yeah, we didn't get any fruit. Well, that's not true. Okay, I'm down here by the vineyard, and these are some of my apple trees. Not this one, but this is an apple tree. These trees actually did produce some. These are ones that I had started from seed and raised. Of course, you can see there's an occasional tree here that's not an apple tree. And we actually watered them some, but the heat and drought was so bad that they even shriveled up on the trees too, and it was pretty sad. I think I lost most of my blackberry bushes this year, so we'll have to see what there's a patch there that may have survived, and we can probably maybe get back on that. But yeah, it was a bad year. So yeah, and Tom did get a few apples off of these few trees, but they were not good apples because of the drought, and they ended up being fed to the pigs that liked them pretty good. The vineyard, a complete and utter fail. I didn't even get them. I couldn't keep the place mowed up. I just didn't. And as you can see, I've got a lot of these rebars. There's supposed to be a plant there. I didn't keep them pruned enough, and it was again, it was one. Now what happens with the grapevines in the spring, I get lots and lots of beautiful grape clusters because it's getting rain and stuff. And then when it goes into that heat, even if you water them sometimes, and I don't water them enough, but the grapes just turn into little black BBs, and they don't produce at all. Some years I get few grapes. Every once in a while I'll get a pretty nice harvest, but in general we don't. And I really struggle with that because we have so few harvests, and I have trouble dealing with this vineyard on top of everything else I do. Every once in a while I just want to yank them out. Oh, you just thought you were going to get her, didn't you? She got away. We were interrupted by my dog trying to chase that one hen that was out, but boy, she got some flight on her. She got out, she got over everything real good. Now I don't remember where I was. Okay, anyway, every once in a while I think I struggle with even wanting to keep the vineyard. It's a lot of work that I can't do and don't want to do, honestly. But then at the same time you think, okay, so like you want to prepare for things and do things, and you want to pull out a bunch of grapevines that can make you some good wine on the years that you have grapes. So what's up with that? So haven't pulled anything yet, haven't done anything with it, so I don't know. That's definitely a fail. It usually is every year, so I don't know. Now as far as a trailer house, and yes, I was trying to reprogram my brain to call it a mobile home. It's a trailer house, sorry. I can retrain it all I want to, but it is what it is. Here's the first thing that I wanted a wood stove. Well, here it is. Here's my wood stove. It's not installed, and then when we're down to single digits, it's out here. But I don't know. I shouldn't be such a jerk about it. It is here. When I can get things done, I was hoping that I will install it, I guess. I had tried to delegate that and it didn't work, but that's okay. I will get it done. My toilet is on the front porch now. So here's a mess I have in here. I did finally get the shower taken out. I got the toilet taken out. I'm working on, I was trying earlier today, working on the floor. I don't know what I'm doing. Here's the vanity that's gonna go here. This is the shower stall that's supposed to go here, so I've made some progress, but golly guys, I've had a year, so taking out the wall, we're going to extend the wall out because this shower is bigger than the old shower, so that's what I'm going to try to do there. I am actively working on that, and I believe I'm actively going to build my closet back here in this corner when I'm done. Probably before the closet though, I'm going to install the wood stove here in the living room. Yeah, and I was going to quit. I was going to quit on the trailer house after that and do something else. Because I don't want to live here. But there is one other thing I've got to do, and it's because I'm not using my restroom in there. I've been using the toilet down the hall that the girls use, and their vanity's falling apart. Everything in this house is literally crumbling and falling apart. It is what it is. That's just what happens. It's had a lot of rodent damage. It's had a lot of water damage. It sat empty. It's a 1998 trailer house. That's what happens. So But I do need to replace their vanity. That shouldn't be as big a deal as what the idiocy that I was trying to pull in the that bathroom there, moving walls and stuff, especially with somebody who really doesn't know what they're doing. But I guarantee you, by the time I get done, I will have known something and I will have learned from it. So I guess, as with every year, I've had good and bad things, some fails, some successes. The successes are important to me because I've had so many fails in the past. So, yeah. Oh, here's a success. Big old honking freezer full of chicken and turkey. Well, mostly chicken. I've got a small deep freezer out in the barn that's got complete turkeys in it, whole turkeys, and then I've got an upright freezer that I bought that's got the miscellaneous stuff. Because of my food allergies, I don't have a lot of beef and stuff. Tom did get some venison, and I've made room in that upright freezer out in the barn for the venison, and it also has a little bit of pork and, you know, the miscellaneous things like fried okra, or okra to fry, and there's a little bit of beef, there's a little bit of pork, there's things that the girls eat, you know, stuff like that, you know. So the food situation, I think, is pretty good. The trailer house situation is like, I'm making progress. I suck at it, and the only thing I can do is keep at it, so I don't know. I've made some changes to my YouTube channel. That's been pretty good. I'm really excited about the changes I made to my YouTube channel, particularly starting with the name change. That's been pretty good. I think I started Farm Animal Life this year. That's not been a success at all, but I don't know if I'd call it a failure. It's because I just haven't put into it what I need to put into it. I just put a camera in the wherever into it with an animal, and then when I can get to it, I edit the video and put it out for people to see. And it's like they're like 40 minutes long or something like that, maybe longer, of just chicks and a brooder, stuff like that. So I don't know, it's kind of they're soothing things to watch. They're kind of cute to watch, especially if you got chicks and stuff in there. But in general, it's just not something that's gonna, you know, it's just not that much. But I've also started a podcast, This Grandma's Life, this year. So I'm learning. And I did go to Living Free in Tennessee. Oh my gosh, guys, that was huge things for me to go to. I learned a lot, had a good time, and met some good people. And because of that, that also set me up to speak at the Self-Reliance Festival, and that was a big deal and a good thing too. So yeah, that part was a huge success for me, and that's actually I'm going to hear later on this week. I'm going to be doing another talk somewhere here nearby. So I don't know, things are changing there. That's exciting. That is definitely a success. I have not hit 1,000 subscribers yet, as you well know, but you know what? I'm getting there. I will get there, and I have a lot of confidence, or you know, encouragement, put it that way, that I can do it because I'm seeing the changes, and I'm excited about that. So some things this trailer house, I've got a lot to learn. I don't know. And I will work on it. And I don't want to live here, so I'm going to figure out how to do something different. And that's going to be for my 2023 goals. But so I wanted to talk to you about how I did in 2022. And, you know, I didn't grade it. I didn't even think about that. I think one year I put A, B, C, and D. And I think everything was C's and D's and F's. I don't remember. It was bad. So I don't want to do that. I'm just telling you, I want to show you what I've done, what I didn't do, and what changes were made in the process of the year. So, and that's how 2022 has gone. I like, my pantry, my whole pantry. I don't think my pantry was here last year either. I can't remember. But life is getting better. I'm learning things. I've got goals. Got my word of the year. And so, yep, now it's time for 2023. So thanks, guys, for listening to what I've got to say about how I did this last year. I pray that it helped encourage you guys a little bit to think about look back over your last year. You know, even if you did, resolutions are one thing, but setting goals is another. Go back across your goals. How are you going to know? How can you measure the good and bad and where you need to concentrate and stuff if you don't actually sit down, look at what you wanted to do, and actually kind of need to do it throughout the year so that you can monitor it and maybe even change it, you know. So go ahead, sit down, do what you need, make a goal or two. So go ahead and sit down and make a goal or two and write it down, keep it, and go back over it and see where you need to change or how you're doing. So thanks, guys. God bless. I'll see you next time.